Webcamming.
Woo! So you like to get a bit naked on webcam, or you want to, or you're here because you want to find out more. Well, we're here to tell you all the insides and outsides.
So, what is camming?
Webcamming is often or not where you get paid to do naughty stuff on webcam.
People pay you to masturbate in front of them or do other things that get them off.
Yeah.
And they sit there and they watch you.
Yes, and you can do it on your own or with a couple, or you can watch somebody else, or you can be watched. It's totally up to you. And there's a lot of bad stigma around webcamming, but there's also a lot of it's becoming more socially acceptable, and a lot of people I know webcam, and I've webcammed before, and
I webcammed, and I've had friends that have webcammed.
I know so many friends that webcam, so it just totally depends on your point of view of it, and hopefully we can change your mind as to think it's not as negative as you might think it is.
Webcamming has gotten a lot more popular recently. Like, it seems to be like a new kind of porn for people to watch.
Yeah, it's very much like, you can watch porn anytime, anywhere, but when you're watching somebody live, that's just a one-on-one for you most of the time. It's especially for you, and it's happening right there and then. It's not pre-recorded. A lot of the time it's a bit more it's way more intimate than porn.
A lot of people like it because you get to interact with someone real during it.
Yeah, it can be really expensive. There's two types of webcamming. There's either the webcamming where you get it on credits and you sit there and people pay you credits to take off an item of clothing or to do something, or you do pay per minute. You have less people watching you, but you get paid for every moment you're on webcam, rather than hoping that someone will tip you with credits.
People can get addicted to watching people on webcam, and this can get a little bit tricky if you're in a relationship or have a family.
Or have no money, because it is expensive. It's just like with any other addiction, like porn addiction. And also I believe that webcam models can also get addicted to webcamming, and because the money's really good and the work's pretty darn easy, so you end up not wanting to find a job or even not leaving your house, and you get a little bit of four wall syndrome. You just have to be aware about your money situation and what's happening to you mentally when it comes to webcamming.
It can be a really great job to tie you over if you're out of work. It's a really easy thing to set up. You can earn like a decent amount of money from it if you're doing it regularly.
Definitely decent. A lot of the time with webcamming you're self-employed, so you do have to do your own taxes, but you can choose your own rates. So you can either choose to be a little bit cheaper and do less, so maybe just be in your bra and pants, or you can push your boundaries up, be a little bit more expensive and maybe do something that's less common, maybe something that's considered taboo, do crazier stuff on camera. It just depends on yourself.
There are many questions when it comes to camming, and it's been something that I've kind of found quite confusing, because I did do it, but at the same time, sometimes I'm like, well, if women are putting themselves out there for men just to look at as an object, are we actually enabling men to see women as objects by being cammers?
It's really hard to say. I don't think that webcamming makes people objectify women. I feel like that's a type of characteristic in a person. Whether they're male or female or whatever gender, they are going to see it that way. That they might see fashion magazines objectifying women or pornography objectifying women. I don't think that webcamming helps, because you are putting yourself there, as a product to be sold. But it's whether or not you find that empowering as an individual. I definitely found it empowering, and it just depends on which way you look at it.
Yeah, because that was the thing when I was doing it as well. I kind of pitied the people that were paying for it, because you were like, I was just like, it's kind of crazy you spend the money on it. On a fantasy, on a fake relationship. It's so easy. Basically, it's just such an easy job. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that you get paid for it.
I mean, if you want to do well on webcamming, it's not as easy as just getting naked on cam. You do have, now, because so many people do it, you do have to put yourself out there. You have to have a good social media following to make sure that people are watching all the time. You have to keep up with your fans, keep up with your relationships. If you want to make this a proper career and earn big from it. But otherwise, you don't have to do that. You don't have to put yourself on a social media platform and give yourself a fake, like my name's Cherry or something like that. You don't have to. But if you want to earn money and have the regulars that come back, then it is a sort of a long-term relationship that you do have to keep up. Otherwise, they get the hint. They know that it's just work for you. But is that the same as, why do we pity why would we pity people who watch webcam rather than watch pornography and pay for pornography? You know, porn is so huge that if somebody's paying for pornography, we're like, yeah, good on you, you're paying for it, you're paying for the people that are doing the work for you. But then on the other side, it's like, oh, that's really sad, you're paying for pornography. It's the same with webcamming. You know, why shouldn't they pay for their porn? That's better than getting it for free and some poor person's, you know, like not getting the money that they deserve for doing that. What was your camming experience like?
So I didn't do it for very long. I can't remember how long I actually did it for. When I started doing it, we kind of did it together, like not really doing this stuff together, but we used to do it in the same room. We'd have like sort of make like fun like girly nights out of it. So
and all get drunk and just be silly on webcam and and like slap each other's bums and stuff.
Yeah, but like I did find it empowering. I like because I was single at the time. Like it was like a little way of me to get off as well. So I found it, so I was turned on by the whole process of it as well, which is why I did it. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't feel comfortable with it. And that's in the end, that is why I stopped doing it, because I met my boyfriend and I was like, I don't want to do this if I've got a boyfriend.
Yeah, and that's the right decision to make. I feel like it's definitely easier getting into webcam if you have a support network that understands sex and understands flaunting yourself on the internet. You know, if you've got a group of friends that are like, oh my god, you posted a nude picture of yourself, then it's going to be harder for you to, you know, enjoy it because you're feeling guilty and worried all the time, and you've got no one to vent to. But the best thing that when you've got friends to talk to about it is that you can go, oh my god, I had this weird guy, or oh, I had this really hot experience, this guy's so hot, and then you can do like, you know, make it into a fun thing. I think that's important.
So what was your experience with camming?
Well, I wouldn't say I was a full-time webcammer, but definitely for a good maybe 6 months to a year, webcamming was like my sole main job, my main source of income. And that was again when I was kind of, it was part of my freelance career. So when I was freelancing in the porn industry, in porn production, with any freelancer, you never know when your next paychecks coming in, you never know when your next job is, so it was there as a buffer so that if I did have a free day, I would go on for a couple of hours, and you can earn good money from it. If you believe you can earn good money, you can earn good money. Probably like the best experience I've had is I could be on for a night, maybe for like 4 hours, and I could have earned 600 quid in like 4 hours, which is, you know, insane money. But I know that my rates were high as well, because I did a lot more crazier stuff on camera, and I did it for a long time, so I had the regulars to come back, and but it never stayed at that rate. It always fluctuates, you know. If it's quiet, you put it down. If it's busy, you put it high. I got bored of staying inside all the time, smoking weed all the time, because it's so easy, you know, I'm earning money for doing nothing. You get bored of the same person that comes in like, hey baby, how are you? How are you sexy? Like, what turns you on and all this stuff. You want something, like I got to the point where I just wanted something that was like crazy and weird and that was going to make me do some crazy shit. I did some crazy shit on webcam. Crazy shit, but I loved that. I loved experimenting and pushing things. I never had like a no limit. It was always, I'll give it a go, and if I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it again. One of the weirdest things I did on cam was like, there was a guy who was really into like deep throating a dildo so hard that you throw up everywhere.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
You threw up?
Yeah. I gave it a go. I was like, it's not going to turn me on, but I'll do it for you. I'll give it a go. And he was really cool about it. I didn't like it when they were pushy or demanding. That turned me off. I wouldn't really do anything for people like that. But when they were, you know, like nice and gentlemanly and understanding, he was very understanding. He was like, I know this is weird. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Explained it. You know, he was like, I want you to drink a load of water so it's easy to be sick. I don't want it to be like, you know, food and everything. And yeah, so just drank so much water that you feel sick, and then deep throated until it all came up. And you know, he let me I put a towel down on the bed. We discussed and talked about it for a long time. I'm really glad that I did that. It's a very cool experience. It just hurt. It hurt a lot. Like it like fucked all my throat muscles up. I was like, ow! Maybe it was the dildo I was using. It was huge.
If it was a big one,
but I'd never say no. Yeah, did some like, you know, a lot of like weird, crazy role play as well. With webcamming, a lot of like people's crazy fetishes come out because often not as hard to find porn of that fetish, so they would, even just discussing it with another person openly,
even like
is a turn on.
People don't want to discuss it with their partners, so they feel like they can discuss it with a cam girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
The problem with camming as well sometimes is that I think a lot of people suddenly start relying on these relationships that they're creating with these men and women that do camming.
Yeah, both ways as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you rely on that being your sole source of income, and I don't think webcamming should be anyone's sole source of income. I think it's dangerous. Like, it's not mentally healthy for you to stay indoors all the time. It's good if you have like a routine and get yourself out.
Yeah.
But you're right, it's the same again. You can get addicted to this fantasy, this relationship that you believe is real, because it is the idea, the design of it is that they're trying to keep you on there for as long as possible to earn money from you.
Yeah. Like, whatever they say most of the time is not real to you. Like, it's all a game, it's acting.
It is, it's acting. It's like a waitress in a restaurant. She might have had the shittest day, but she's coming up to her table saying, "Hi guys, welcome to this place. What would you like? You know, give me a tip, please." It's all acting. And unfortunately the sex industry, because it's selling sex, and a relationship.
It also, like, webcamming is sex work.
Yeah, it is sex work. It's adult entertainment. It depends, because there's so many girls I know that webcam that don't show off anything. You know, they are there for the relationship. I don't know how successful they are, because people want to go on cam often or not to bust a nut. You know, that's like their more intimate form of porn.
Yeah. Is webcam cheating? I was thinking about this. I was thinking about camming, and I was thinking, what if you caught your boyfriend watching a cam girl? I feel like it would be almost as bad as them cheating on you.
Yeah.
Because that's a real person.
I mean, for a lot of people, just catching their partners watching porn, that can be a big deal, which it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be.
No, I don't think it should be either. I think porn is different because it's, I don't know, they're movies that are made for...
It's there just to bust a nut.
Yeah, whereas...
It's a means to an end.
Camming, you're actually interacting with someone, and you're paying a lot of money to interact with them as well. I mean, it's not the same as going out and getting, like, hiring an escort, but it's similar.
I don't feel like it's cheating if your partner knows that you webcam, but anything you do behind your partner's back is not okay. If you're having to lie to yourself and lie to them, then something's not right. If your partner's not telling you that they're going on webcam and talking to girls, like, if they told you that and you were like, that's not okay, and they still did it, then that would be as bad as cheating. You know, like, doing anything behind your partner's back is not okay. But you know, like, my boyfriend knew I cammed. He's even cammed with me. It just totally depends on that kind of trust and communication you have with your partner.
Yeah, I think if you do have a partner and you want to watch people on cam, then you really need to talk to them about it first, because I mean, the amount of times that we must have been on cam with people that had, like, a wife, and, like, that did really, like, it did make me feel bad.
Definitely. Or there was someone I knew who was a nurse and he had no money, and every time he was on webcamming with me, I'd be like, you don't have the money for this. Like, I feel guilty for taking your money, even though I'm giving you a pleasurable, fun experience. But then it's that way up of, well, if they don't do it with me, are they just going to do it with somebody else? Are they like, it's such a, like, a difficult subject. It's the same with, like, when somebody's into something that's a little bit taboo or illegal, when it's the idea of, like, bestiality or age play. And age play is a weird one as it is, because obviously age, as soon as you get younger than 18, that's kind of questionable. And so you'd have people, like, I'd get a lot of age players because I look quite young, and there was that battle inside of me of, so are they paedophiles because they want to play with somebody who's pretending to be 12 or pretending to be, like, even younger or whatever age, but then do they know that they have a problem and they're getting their fix by using somebody on webcam who is of age, but they're allowed to suspend themselves in that fantasy? You know, I could have easily said to each one of them, like, no, I don't do age play, but they would just do it with somebody else. If not worse, if they didn't get it from me, what if they got it from somebody who was underage?
Also, there is so much porn about underage girls. Like, it's unreal.
Yeah, same with bestiality. Bestiality is very illegal, but when it's a fantasy, when you're just talking about it, when it's just in, you know, like, just chatting about it, pretending with it, is that acceptable? Because you're not actually hurting any animals, no animals are involved, but also you don't know what's happening behind their closed doors.
Yeah, well, it's weird, isn't it? Because I think the problem is that roleplay can be great when you're like with someone, you're in a relationship, but when you don't actually know what they're doing behind the camera, behind the computer, it's kind of hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of got really dark really quickly.
Yeah, it got really dark.
It wasn't supposed to be dark, it was just, like, it's very interesting talking about webcamming and all perspectives, because my experience with webcamming is great. I loved webcamming, I enjoyed it very much. I'm glad I'm out of webcamming because it made me go like stir crazy in my own home.
Yeah.
It really exacerbated my obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah, and I also enjoyed it like for the short time that I did it as well, and it was really good because I was in a job like that had a really low wage, and I wouldn't have actually been able to survive in London without it.
Yeah.
So
most people do it while they're at university to pay for their tuition fees, and
yeah.
And the good thing about webcamming is that it's less likely for them to copy your image. I mean, of course, you have to understand if you're putting yourself out there naked on cam, you could be copied. You're most likely being copied. Whether or not you're shared is another matter.
Yeah.
But I found that even with my pseudonym, my fake name, I didn't get any of my images duplicated or shared. None of my videos were, but I know that on the credit sites, on like my free cams and all that shit,
Yeah.
like my friends have had their videos screenshotted and copied.
Yeah, that's not good.
The thing with adult work is UK based. You have to have a UK passport to have an adult work account. I don't know how trustworthy adult work are. People go for them because they're the biggest names out there. You want the most traffic so you can get the most money. So how do you get into webcamming? You have to be filthy and unemployed.
Yeah, you pretty much have to have spare time to either do it all night, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Yeah, best
and
time.
then really late at night, like 11 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Or just after work as well. That was good because
Yeah.
people want to have their morning wank before work or their wank when they get home from work. I don't think I ever had a female watch me. I don't know for sure. I had females contact me, but the majority of my audience was definitely male.
So if someone wanted to get into it, what would you advise?
I would start by making up your name. Don't ever use your real name with stuff like this because you never know how far it's going to go. Definitely take photos of yourself, sexy photos, and sexy videos really help. Get yourself a Twitter because you're allowed explicit images up there. And some of the best places would be Adult Work in the UK, only because they work on a pay per minute time, and they give you a really shit cut actually. They take a good 40% from your earnings, but you have to be prepared that most cam sites do take a huge cut.
Yeah.
It sucks, but that's just the way of a cam site. That's just how it works. The free ones, I know, get a lot of traffic, like lots of traffic, but it's whether or not somebody gives you the credits.
Yeah. I would also be more wary of the free ones because it's more likely that someone you know will see you on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think I tried it out and hundreds and thousands could be watching you at one time, and you could just, it also takes a lot more of your time as well. Like, you could just be sitting there, waiting, chatting, hi guys, hi sexies, yeah, give me 1,000 credits and I'll take my bra off, for example.
Yeah.
And someone might not do that. You also can get abuse because it's free. People can be horrible. It's less likely with a pay per minute webcam site because they're paying per minute, but it's harder to keep them on, and only one might come in and pay to watch you, and that can be tricky because you're trying your best to keep them on, and then you're really offended when they suddenly go, and you're like, fuck,
what did I do?
What have I done? Have I said something wrong? Have you just come and not said anything? Have you lost connection? And then you can also like it can affect yourself because you think like I'm not doing good, or also the money really affects your mental state. If you're used to getting like 100 quid a day, and then one day you only get 20 quid because it's really, really quiet and there's hardly anybody on, you might think that's down to your fault, and it really isn't. It's just coincidence. Definitely get a Twitter and link your profiles. Sign up to a webcamming site. Try them out as well. Sign up to a few if you want. Check out which is the best platform for you to play around with, and start posting pictures and it's a lot of it's practice.
Yeah, you just
Trial
gotta be.
and error.
You have to be comfortable with what you're doing, basically.
Yeah.
Just if you've got to be okay with doing naughty things on the camera
Yes,
to people that you don't know.
it's a massive turn on. Like the amount of webcam shows where I've really enjoyed myself, like
Yeah.
really had a good time, and
Yeah.
if there are no worries involved.
Yeah. If you have any more questions about camming, please comment below. We will try and get back to you on that.
Yeah, and tell us your webcam story. Are you a webcam model? Oh, please don't advertise, by the way. Like, it's YouTube, you're not allowed to. But tell us your webcam story. Have you had a good time? Have you had an awful time? I know that for me, webcamming opened a lot of other doors for me as well. Like, I could sell my underwear, or I could sell a pair of shoes, or whatever. But it just depends on if you're okay with that. I mean, I still webcam now. I still have my girls over, and we still get drunk on webcam, or when I have the chance, I webcam by myself. But it's hard to do that now. Life is busy. But yeah,
It takes a lot of time.
let us know your story, and please like our video if you find this helpful. Comment below, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Subscribe, like, and bye.
And bye.
Thank you so much for watching.
Woo! I'm glad you enjoyed it and you've made it this far to the end.
Please support us on Patreon.
We earn no money from YouTube whatsoever. It might be $3 or $4 a month, if that, split between the both of us. So if you have any money at all, and if our channel has been useful for you at all, please pledge some cash to our Patreon.
Please support us.
Please, even just a few dollars or a few pounds would mean so much to us.
So much.
We earn no money from our YouTube channel, so it means that we can keep doing this in our free time to give you advice and extra pleasure.
More.